Family to me is straight away a busy room, a busy small kitchen. I'm one of 7 kids. I've got 5 older sisters, all of them colourful people. We didn't grow up in a very big house. It was a nice house, it just wasn't big enough. When I was really small, my mum always insisted that we ate together in the evening. And when you were small, you got the worst seat, which was at the back of the table. So once you were in, you couldn't get round if you wanted to get out. So you had to crawl under the table, through the legs. And I remember being very small. So you say family to me, and I picture this table with these amazing women, all at different parts of their lives. Some of them were girls, some of them were women, squabbling, talking, laughing, noise. And around dinner time, my father was a night shift worker. So we'd all be around the table ready, and then he'd come downstairs smartly dressed to go to the newspaper where he worked. He was a proofreader. But he was always in, it was the morning for him. So the noise would always quieten down a bit when he came in the room, because he had a foul temper at those times of day. So I remember if I wanted to get out, if I'd finished my dinner, I had to crawl through everybody's legs, and I had to be careful not to touch anybody's legs. So family for me is crawling between these legs. Maybe one of my sisters deliberately kicking me as I went under. And I remember one time catching the table leg, and I heard a gasp, because Dad was in a bad mood. He was trying to eat his dinner, and the whole table moved. And there was a pause, there was a gasp, and I froze. And he shouted at the top of his lungs, "It's like a fucking seance!" Which I thought was hilarious. And I could hear my sisters trying to control themselves. So that was the kind of atmosphere I grew up in. It was vibrant, loud, interesting, quite stressful actually. But yeah, it was wonderful ultimately. There was always lots of music in the house. And because I was the first boy, all my sisters wanted me to have their taste in music. So I've got lots of images of different sisters putting on a record and telling me why I had to like it. Everything from Diana Ross to Genesis. And I suppose the overriding thing about family, people talk about belonging. And there's a lovely phrase in the north of England. When you're describing one of your siblings, you'll say, for instance, my brother's called Marcus. You'd say, our Marcus. And it's used really carefully. It's a term of endearment, but it's my name at home is our Guy. And I like that. It's a really nice, a nice little slang sort of term, a nice colloquialism. Guy who belongs to us, can you pass me that, our Guy? It's nice. So I'm very proud of my family. I've got family all over the world. I've got a sister in France. I've got a sister in Ireland. We're very rarely all together at the same time. And when that does happen, it could be 1978 all over again. Everybody returns to those roles. The interesting thing about family is when you're all together, the pack mentality is stronger than anything you can learn after moving away from home. Me and my brother get on a house on fire all year round, and the only time we ever fight is at Christmas when all the family are together. It's really odd. And we've talked about it, and we've talked about why it happens and how can we avoid it, and it still happens, It's interesting, you're part of a brood, you're part of a crew, you're part of a pack of animals, really. There's a pecking order, and I'm very proud of all of them, and it's great, with every sort of success that the band enjoys. My family, being proud of me, I think it's one of the things you want the most. I mean, especially my father being proud of me. That means a lot to a man. And I guess, the older I get, the closer I feel to all of them, the more I understand them. And you realise what you have that's different from everybody else. Ultimately, because I was the first boy after 5 girls, I think I was a little bit spoilt. And my little brother was as well. But that works out okay for me. I don't have any children yet, but I'm planning a family. My mum will be over the moon, as all my sisters will be. I guess I'll see a hell of a lot more of all of them when I've got children of my own. I think that's how it works. Yeah, but I'll be glad, you know, I'll be glad to have a child when it happens, because there's a whole lot of history and some very funny stories to be passed on. My family are all great storytellers on both sides, my mum and my dad's side. And I think, you know, I think you are a collection of your stories. And I don't think it matters how true they are. Just got to be able to hold a crowd. Well, because of the age difference between me and my eldest sister, you know, there was eventually only me and my brother, and my mum left. My parents divorced. So there was always plenty of room for friends. And when I first met Mark, the guitarist in the band, we would write songs in the kitchen at my mum's house. We had like a little stereo player, and we'd record them on there. And she always encouraged that. She was trying to watch television next door, but she didn't mind us writing. And she used to come into the room and throw a harmony here and there. She's got a very ooh kind of, you know, voice. And whatever we were singing along to, she'd come and join in for a minute. And I just remember Mark trying not to laugh whenever that happened. But yeah, my mum loves music to this day. Friends are as important as my family. In many ways, the band have known each other so long, and we spend so much time together, that it's closer to family than it is to friends a lot of the time. I mean, we are friends, we get along, and we laugh at the same things. We laugh at the same things that we laughed at when we were 17, in actual fact. But we've been through hard stuff together, and we've been through good stuff together, and you know, more recently we've seen each other's children born, and the band have been together 20 years. In many ways I know them better than I know my own family. And I have a special relationship with their kids, I think, because I know them so well. It's after 20 years, it's not something that would go away, I don't think.